Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an update on the Donald Trump Benjamin Netanyahu meeting that happened yesterday. Very interesting. I'm going to read between the lines a little bit on what I think it was about, but Netanyahu came to the White House to discuss, it seemed like Israel wanted the tariffs that Trump imposed on them at 17% to be removed. Trump refused, and they did also talk about Iran as well as Palestine. Trump talking about meeting with the leaders of Iran on Saturday. Netanyahu did not look too happy about that. That's good. We want dialogue with Iran when it comes to a potential nuclear deal. And then the situation with Palestine is still the same. And I still think Trump, in terms of this administration and the Israel situation, we're going to know where Trump stands on all of this when it comes to how he handles Iran. Everyone's saying there's going to be war with them. It's going to be proxy. The United States is going to get involved potentially. And those are the two biggest situations when it comes to Israel. It's Palestine, it's Iran. Point blank, period. So this meeting doesn't really change that dynamic, but it is interesting because I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the whole Trump stuff with Netanyahu, and it is true to the point to where it does seem like Trump treats Israel different than every other country, including Ukraine, who is fighting a war against Russia. He stopped the foreign aid to Ukraine. There were only two countries he didn't stop foreign aid to. It was Israel and Egypt, when he paused it everywhere. And again, that includes Ukraine, who was fighting and is still fighting Russia at the time. So, and I think the administration at some point, they realized that. So it's interesting how, Trump hits everyone with tariffs, and he hits Israel with a 17% tariff. When it comes to how those, I guess I should go back. We know a day before Liberation Day is what Trump called it, Israel removed all their tariffs against the United States in hopes that he wouldn't hit them with any tariffs. It's something that Vietnam also did. It's something that other countries were contemplating doing, but Israel did it. So there were no tariffs against U.S. goods. That was done the day before Liberation Day. Trump still hits Israel with a 17% tariff that is mainly based on the trade deficit we have with Israel. And so it looked like Netanyahu wanted to meet with Trump to eliminate it. And if you look at like Polymarket and all the betting, there's the question, which will be the first country to have their tariffs removed and like negotiate a free trade agreement with Trump, and Israel's number one. It just, in terms of optics, it's not a great look for the administration. And so you almost wonder if this meeting was a little bit strategic in terms of Trump. I mean, we saw during the meeting when they were in the Oval Office. It's also interesting how there was a press conference that was going to be happening with Netanyahu that got canceled. And they still had the Oval Office thing. They were still taking questions from the press, but there was no press conference to where you would really get into core issues. They still talked about Gaza. They still talked about Iran, but not to the level or the depth that you would see in a press conference. But the point of it is it seems like Netanyahu flew to D.C. to get these tariffs eliminated, and Trump said no. And during the Oval Office visit, Trump said, "We give you billions of dollars every year. You should be grateful for that." He said it in kind of a, laughing way, but you can understand that Trump, it seems like there's a motive from Trump to say, you know what, I'm going to push back against this narrative that I'm owned by Israel. And it seemed like this visit was almost in part about that. Like, you're going to come visit me. You've already pledged to eliminate all your tariffs. I tariffed you at a 17% rate. Now you're coming to me to get the tariffs removed. And I'm telling you, no, we already give you billions of dollars every year in military aid. We're not removing them. I mean, you can read into that, but you've also got this. And listen, Trump does this with a lot of different world leaders. This is just the protocol that Trump does. It's like, oh, he pushes in the chair. I mean, you want to say it's a bad look. I mean, but, it is protocol for Trump, and he does this with other people. And look at Trump. Just look at Trump. Oh, man. He's like, let me just help you out there. But you've got this Israel to eliminate. And here's the other thing. Israel commits to eliminating their deficit and trade barriers with the United States. And what Netanyahu said was very key in terms of other countries' negotiations. It's not just tariffs, it's also the VATs. It's also currency manipulation. It's also overregulation against U.S. goods. All of these hurt our competitiveness and our American products' competitiveness in foreign markets. And so what Netanyahu was saying is, we're making this huge commitment, And during this, Trump just said, one of the people said, well, listen, Donald, are you, they asked him, they said, are you going to eliminate the tariffs now that Netanyahu is capitulating and doing all this stuff and pledging to eliminate the deficit and all the trade barriers? And Trump said, no, it's staying in place. They get billions of dollars. That's a pretty good deal, right? And Netanyahu just looks so uncomfortable. So it's almost like you wonder what the dynamic there is. But either way, to me, it's just interesting. This meeting happened and Netanyahu flew there immediately after Trump hit them. I mean, there were obviously, I'm sure, a lot of Israelis that were surprised, considering that they removed all of their tariffs against the United States. But if you're Trump, you have to have some self-awareness to know that within, especially the Republican base, there are people that think there's a lot of bowing to Israel. And so this is Trump saying, well, no, I'm really not doing that. But honestly, to me, this is all noise. We'll see what happens with Trump and Iran. We'll see what happens with Trump and Palestine. I mean, the Palestine stuff's a little bit different for me than Iran because, Trump is cucking to Israel. He's going to annex Gaza. Well, I mean, what do you want Trump to do? If you want a two-state solution, there's going to be fighting in 2 or 3 years. There's going to be a peace agreement that Trump can broker, and they'll be fighting in 3 years, which I think in terms of Trump saying, no, we want to solve this immediately, you can understand it. Now, whether or not you think that, you should expel the Palestinians and Trump talking about how there's going to be this peace zone and everything like that. And there's some issues with that in terms of, what you're going to be doing to these people and where you're going to be putting them. But again, it's it's really an unfixable situation. There's just going to be fighting. There's been fighting between Israel and Palestine for forever. And so now it's really Israel-Hamas. But when you look at this, it's to me, the administration when it comes to Israel is going to be defined by Iran and what happens with Palestine. So we'll see in terms of that. But it does seem like Trump wanted to give a certain effect off of this Netanyahu visit, because the last one they had, they filmed Trump pushing in his chair and the whole thing with, oh, we're going to annex Gaza and it's going to be a beautiful resort, and sharing the video of Trump and Netanyahu lounging at a new pool that would be constructed. It's an AI video in the Gaza Strip. And so Netanyahu comes in and Trump says, no, we're keeping the tariffs on you at 17%. We're not bowing down. We're done with it. You already get billions in aid. It is what it is. And there's that again. You also do have Trump says he might not reduce tariffs on Israel because the U.S. gives Israel billions of dollars per year. Trump told Bibi the tariffs are staying and to be grateful for the billions. Yeah, guys, follow me on X. I've been tweeting a lot, guys. I have. But yeah, I mean, that's basically what happened. So I do find it interesting in terms of just the dynamic and the visit that they had. And they did also talk about the situation in Gaza. And I mean, Trump is just reiterating the same thing. It seems like Trump is a little bit less committed to the United States taking ownership of the Gaza Strip. It always seemed like negotiations from Trump in terms of him saying the U.S. would own it and secure it. To me, it's more so the Arab states and what they want to do with it and them committing to it. I mean, they said they wanted to make a $53 billion investment into... Sorry, I'm digesting food right now. It always happens. But they're trying to make a $53 billion investment into the Gaza Strip. That's the Arab states. It's like UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and others. Or I guess Qatar. It's pronounced Qatar. That's what Trump was saying. But yeah, you've also got that. Let's take a look at this. This is kind of what I was talking about.
Do you plan to reduce the tariffs that your government put on Israeli goods, 17%?
On where?
On Israeli goods. The 17%. Do you plan
well,
to
we're
reduce
talking about a whole new trade. Maybe not. Maybe not. Don't forget, we help Israel a lot. You know, we give Israel $4 billion a year. That's a lot. Congratulations, by the way. That's pretty good. But we give Israel billions of dollars a year. Billions. It's one of the highest of, and we give a lot of countries money. You wouldn't believe if I said we give Afghanistan a lot of money, didn't it? Because that was a Biden deal, another Biden deal. Not only did he embarrass us with that, but they give them billions of dollars, Afghanistan, right? So, but no, we take good care of our friends and we don't take care of our enemies. We're not taking care of our enemies anymore, but we do take care of our friends.
So, you know, Trump starts off and answers the question and then goes into a little bit of a different thing there. But that's the point. Netanyahu comes in for the visit. He wants to negotiate an end to these tariffs. Trump says, no, it's not happening. You can commit to killing the deficit with the United States, all this stuff, removing the trade barriers, but we are not ending the tariffs on Israel. And so now it's looking like maybe Japan will be the first country to negotiate a free trade agreement with the United States. And we'll have to see in terms of that. But that is just kind of an interesting dynamic between Trump and Netanyahu meeting in which solved. I mean, what did it solve exactly? It seemed like Netanyahu, Israelis were very upset that they took off all of their tariffs on the United States a day before Liberation Day, and then Trump hit them with a 17% tariff. So he comes there to try and negotiate out of it, and Trump says it's not going to happen. And to be grateful for the billions we're already giving you. So a little bit of a different vibe from Trump with this meeting with Netanyahu. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.